significant food allergies his whole life, so I was dealing with that too at this time. And the things that I learned when I would go to doctors after and I would discuss things with them, sometimes they didn't know what I knew. And I found that really, really disheartening, because it's their job to know things, to help us. And yes, nobody's perfect and we all make mistakes and everything's a challenge, but come on, you don't know that this causes inflammation? Like this is what comes up in every book and every, Google it, like everything, it's inflammation. How do you not know? So that's disheartening. But as for thyroid, I have so many clients that have thyroid issues, diabetes, and cholesterol and blood pressure, and the frustration is that their doctor's not listening to them. And their doctor is like, all right, well, you can stop eating salt and take all these pills and you'll be great. Except the pills are giving you side effects that, are making you uncomfortable. It's affecting your vision. It's giving you headaches. It's making you tired. There are ways that we can get rid of certain medical conditions. Not all. Of course we need doctors. We need them. But if you can get rid of your cholesterol with your diet, for me, I say try that first, because the medicines that they're giving you can sometimes be so much more harmful than what you got going on. So does anybody here have diabetes or autoimmune or anything like that? No one? All right. Well, then I guess I'm talking to the wrong crowd. No, but have any of you ever been to a doctor that you feel is not listening to you?
Oh, yeah.
You have, right? Absolutely. Okay. All right, and then you try to go to another doctor and you feel like you're getting the same thing. They're far and few between. They're there. They're out there. I know some of them. I was lucky enough to meet some of them, but they're far and few between. And I had to go to 14 different doctors before I found one that would listen to me, So nutrition. I just want to talk like 5 seconds about nutrition, and then I'll take questions if you guys have any. But I just wrote an article. I gave it to you guys. It's 5 nutrition hacks. Okay, it's in the Greater Mauritius publication. And in there you'll find 5 very easy ways to start working on your nutrition without really driving yourself crazy. Okay, one of the things I say in that article is keep it PG. So if you can't think of what to eat, or if you're frustrated when you're out at a restaurant, just think in your head, all right, keep it PG, keep it PG. Proteins and greens. You cannot go wrong with lean proteins and greens. I don't care what anybody tells you. Chicken, turkey, eggs, cod, even salmon, even though this is JJ, by the way. This is my other one. So you can't go wrong with that. The only thing you have to avoid is the heavy sauces and the frying. And then when you're having your protein, add greens. Add a ton of greens. Spinach, string beans, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, like asparagus. All that is so super good for you. It cleans out your system, and it's filling you up when you really want to dive into that bread basket, or you really want to have that, the fried chicken and the biscuits and the gravy, and you guys can have that. We can all have that. We all should have that, but we just shouldn't have it all the time. That's what's really going to get us. And again, that has nothing to do with gluten. That's just an article I wrote for everyone, And then I also suggest that you get to know your farmers. And the nicer weather is coming. We have so many great farm stands on Long Island, and sometimes it's cheaper than going to the food store, and you can get all sorts of vegetables and fruits that are in season. And think outside the box. That's one more thing that we should all be conscious of: preservatives and food dyes and all that. And I know that you all hear this stuff every single day from different people. So in my book, I have this chapter that's called Too Much Information, right? We are constantly thrown information from everyone. Social media, the news, our doctors, our moms, everybody is giving us different kind of information. What we don't know is, when is that information going to be bad information? Because 5 days ago, eggs are good for us, and 5 days from now, eggs are bad for us, right? Yeah. Okay, so basically what I talk about is there are 4 things that we know for sure, right? Don't smoke. Don't do drugs, right? These are proven facts that are bad for our health, even though sometimes we do them anyway. They're proven facts that are bad for our health. Don't smoke. Don't do drugs. Don't overindulge, right? That's really, really important, because if we overindulge all the time, we're not feeling good. We're bloated. Our pants are, we have to unbutton our pants. We can't breathe. So There are ways that we can heal ourselves with nutrition. I'm proof of that, and I have so many people that I know that are proof of that. And Dr. Val asked me to just come in and tell you guys a little bit of my story and let you guys know that you may be feeling discouraged and you may be feeling like there's no hope if you have a medical condition going on or if you know somebody who does, and that's really frustrating, but there is hope, because had I given up, I probably wouldn't be here talking to you guys today. I might not be on this earth at all, who knows. But there's hope, and I want everybody, if you yourself or you know somebody who's going through something, just tell them the story, because there's hope, and there's a lot of other people like me, and it's very important to share the story because you never know who you're talking to. So that's it. That's really my story. Do you guys have any questions?
Can you tell us a little more about your book?
My book. Okay, so my book is called Baby Steps. It's called Baby because my business, my baby, my business is my baby. It's called Be a Better You Fitness, and it's short. I wrote this first book for all of my clients would always come in and they're telling me, I just don't have time to exercise. I have no time.
Guilty.
Okay. I have no time to exercise. I have no time to worry about my own health. I have no time to eat right. I'm just always on the go. I'm busy. I have my kids. I have my job. I have my social life. So I said, well, you can do A, B, C, and D, and then you'll find the time. And then a week later, they're like, I found 30 minutes. And I'm like, yeah, because I told you where to find it, right? I told you where to find the 30 minutes, and you found it. So, like I said, I've always wanted to write, and I started writing my book about celiac, and then I stopped, and then I wrote this, and I wrote this in like 2.5 days, I think. I wrote this in like 2.5, 3 days, because it's for the busy people, which is why it's only 45 pages. Because if you're super busy, you don't have time to read a 250-page book. You don't have time. So it's for the busy people, and it shows you step by step how to find the time, how to start. Like if you don't know where to start, you have no idea where to start, right? There's so much conflicting information. Drink this shake, take this tea, smoke this vape, whatever it is, right? There's so much conflicting information about being healthy that people are confused. So then they just throw it and they're like, screw it. I'm not doing anything to be healthy because there's, the information's too much. So in here, it basically shows the steps to get started towards being a better you. And it's small steps. It's nothing that's going to make you, it's nothing that's going to give you a headache. You're not going to look at this and go, I can't do any of this. It's too hard. It's easy. It's simple steps. You start with swapping out a soda for a seltzer. It's simple but significant steps that will get you on your way. It shows you where you can find time to take 5 minutes to meditate. People say meditation is ridiculous. Why would I meditate? Because if you take 5 minutes to meditate, you're setting your tone and your intention for the whole day. And people like my husband are like, my intention is to wake up and go to work. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to get up and go to work, and I'm going to have my coffee, and that's great. And I'm like, okay. But for me, going through what I went through, I needed to find all these different tools to help me get better, because I was coming off of medication. I was on antibiotic. My body was a nightmare inside. It was a nightmare. And if I didn't heal it and then heal my anxiety with it, because everything gave me anxiety, forget it. I was having panic attacks left and right. I thought the grandmother was coming up from the grave. I mean, who does that, So I needed to find something for me. And meditation did not come easy for me. Meditation was the hardest part of my journey. Because every time I would sit there and I would go, okay, connect to the light. I'd be like, I have to do laundry, and this is bullshit. This is bullshit. I'm not connecting to the light. There's no light. But I didn't give up. And that, for me, that's something that I always tell everybody. I tell my kids, I tell my mom, I tell everybody, if there's one thing I can tell you, don't give up. And so it took me so long, but I finally found one particular meditation by Christy Marie Sheldon, and I'll never forget it because I did it and it worked. And I understood what connecting to the light meant at that very point. And it was literally less than a 5-minute thing. Less than 5 minutes. But it worked for me, so I haven't changed it because I figure if it's not broke, don't fix it. So I've been doing that for 10 years. And it works, and it puts me in a great place, and it sets my intention for the day, and it puts me in a great mood. But I tell you guys in here, this is where you can find 5 minutes. This is where you can find 30 minutes. This is where you can start. You can start in your grocery store. You can start in your home. And I just lay it out so simply. If you have a desk job, right? If you're sitting at a desk all day, 9 to 5, you're at a desk and you're doing nothing, right? No movement. And now your neck hurts and your back hurts and your legs start to hurt. Your knee hurts and you're like, why the hell does my knee hurt? I don't even exercise. Like, why is my knee hurting? It's because you're not moving and your body is deteriorating. I'm going to be honest with you. I did not exercise a day in my life until I was 30 years old. And that's a true story. And my sister can tell you I hated exercise. You could not get me in a gym. You couldn't get me to go for a walk. I was like, I'd rather go have a drink. I'm not exercising. But once I realized that if I didn't start exercising, I was going to get worse, I made it a priority. But you have to find something you love. You can't just go to Zumba and say, this is great, I love exercising. I'm not a Zumba person, right? I'm not a spin person, but I love lifting weights. And so I find what I loved, and I did that, and that changed my life also. We lose 1% of muscle in our body, lean muscle mass, a year after we hit 21. That's huge. So the more muscle we lose, the more what we have. What do we have? We don't have muscle. Fat, right? Okay. So the more muscle we lose, the more fat we have. Now, this is something that you guys may not know. I'm sure you know a lot of this, but you may not know this. The more muscle we have, the more fat we burn when we're resting. So when I have one of my girlfriends and we're out to eat and I'm having a gluten-free cheeseburger with bacon on it, and she's like, how do you eat that? Like, how do you eat that? And you're fit. And I say, because my body's literally burning it off as soon as I eat it, because I lift weights to build muscle. And for women especially, that's super important because we naturally have less muscle than men do. So as we get older, our joints start to go, our ligaments, our tendons, our bones. If we build muscle, we strengthen all of that. And if we build muscle, we're burning fat at rest. And if we build muscle, we're actually getting a little happier. And this is all science. This isn't my opinion. I mean, this is real life stuff. So I talk about that in here also. I talk about the dangers of sitting at a desk all day. I talk about how you can do certain little things for 2 to 3 minutes while you're sitting at a desk that will let you move and build muscle while you do it. So that's what the book is. The book is for everybody. The book is for my son. The book is for all you guys. The book is for an entrepreneur, a model, an actress, anybody who doesn't have the time. So,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
That's wonderful.
You're welcome.
Sounds like I need the book. That's perfect for me. I have a desk job, so I would love to know what those tips are
Of
for
course,
sitting at a desk all day.
Of course. Well, we have to. We have to make time, because if we don't make time, we're going to be out of time.
That's true.
And that's what happened. That's what I thought. I thought I was out of time. And once I found out I had time, I changed everything. And that's not going to be your story. That's not going to be, everybody's story. Everybody has a different story.
Yeah.
But everybody can get themselves to a place where they're feeling good. We don't have to suffer. We don't have to listen to the doctor when he says, take all these pills and you'll be great. All right, sometimes we do have to listen. Let's be honest. Sometimes we need medicine to make us better. We need some antibiotics. We need, something to really get our blood pressure down. But just because they're saying it doesn't mean that we shouldn't go and get a second opinion. If we feel that something's not right, go get a second opinion. You're allowed to. You should. You need to love yourself enough and be powerful enough to be like, you know what? Okay, you're saying that my car needs a new muffler. I think I just need an oil change. Let me go get a second opinion instead of giving you $3,000. Right? We do that for our cars. We need to do that for our bodies.
So true.
Okay, you're telling me I need a high blood pressure pill. What if, can you give me 3 months, doc? Can you give me 3 months and let me see if I can get my blood pressure down on my own? And then, if I can't, then we'll talk again. Some doctors will be like, yeah, that's a great idea. Stop having salt. I'm like, no, stop having sugar, right? But again, I'm not a doctor, but I will say, stop having sugar. You can't stop having sugar altogether. There's sugar in fruit, and we need sugar. Our brain needs glucose to function, right? So you're not going to stop having sugar altogether, but guess what? If we cut out a significant amount of sugar, your lives will drastically change. your health, your numbers, and your blood panels will change. 90% of you. 90% of you will change, okay? Because I've seen it happen on so many occasions. So your doctor says cut out salt, I say cut out sugar. But I'm not a doctor. I gotta keep saying that because I don't want you guys like, Maria told me to cut out sugar and now my blood pressure's like, woo! And then you'll come in here and Dr. Val will be mad at me. But no, I say cut out sugar. You'll see a difference. I did just 7 days of no sugar, complete no sugar. I did it last month. And I documented it on Facebook and Instagram, and it was ridiculous and it was hysterical. And I ate the same thing every day for 7 days.
Chicken and eggs.
Chicken and eggs. So like egg, turkey, vegetable burgers and eggs. I had eggs. But I, all of a sudden, like my bloating was completely gone. I had no headaches. I felt like $1,000,000. And the boys were actually off from school that week that I decided to do that. So by day 7, I was like, I need a glass of wine. But next time I'm going to try it for 10 days, and then I'll try it for 14. And I wouldn't do it all the time, but maybe once a season. Maybe once a season. I have a great 7-day detox that I give to my clients who really feel awful. It doesn't matter if they're 100 pounds, 300 pounds. They feel terrible. And whatever you look like doesn't matter. You could be the best looking person in the world, and if you feel awful, you feel awful, right? So I have this thing that I do for them. It's 7 days, and it's food. You're eating 4 to 5 times a day. But every time they do, it's like no sugar. But they don't realize that it's no sugar. It's like a sneaky no sugar. Because if you don't tell them and they don't realize, and then by the end of the 7 days, they're like, oh my God, I feel fantastic. And so I tell them, like, well, you really didn't eat that much sugar, look, And so anything to make anybody feel better. But that's what's great about here, Infinite Wellness, and everything that comes along with it is because Dr. Val uses her magic skills, which that's what they are, right? To make everybody feel better. Because she cares about you guys and she wants the best for you, which is why she brings people in. The yoga woman Dee, she was fantastic. And now she has me in here talking to you guys about gluten and nutrition, and she is a doctor that cares about your well-being. And if she can't help you, she brings in other people that might be able to just kind of sneak in a little other, some other information, right? Yeah. Just some other information. I'm great when it comes to celiac and autoimmune stuff. I can talk to you guys about it all day long. It's going to get boring, so I won't. But I can do that. And you have a great doctor here, and that's why you guys all stick with her. So there are good doctors out there. Yeah.
Far and few between.
They are, but when you find them, you got to keep them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any other questions?
Could you just elaborate on what gluten is and how it affects your body?
Okay, so gluten is a glue. All right, think of it like a glue. It's a protein, and it's found in wheat. It's found in barley. It's found in spelt, malt. Is that you? Yeah. Hey, you know it all. And so basically, some people it does not affect at all. Okay, some people it just really there's no effect. But other people that are gluten intolerant or gluten sensitive or celiac, it affects significantly. Who are you waving at?
Trouble's here.
You gonna come and join?
No, I want to know about the book. You got the book in your hand?
Yeah, we're talking about gluten for a second though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm just so it's in.
Mom to disrupt
I
everything.
know.
I tried to stop her, Maria. She just
Sorry.
What are you guys eating back there?
nothing.
It's not gluten-free.
Gluten-free pretzels, actually.
Oh, good. Okay, so let's see. Gluten-free pretzels can be a great snack, but it can be harmful to certain people because it acts as an inflammatory, so it can inflame the entire body. If celiac, right? Celiac disease. Basically, what happens is if I have gluten, all my organs start attacking themselves, right? That's what happens. If you're gluten intolerant, that doesn't happen, but you get a response as if you were having an allergy. So you can have hives, you can have sneezing, coughing, you can have stomach issues. Some people actually have anaphylaxis to gluten, which, we know how significant and severe that is, right? Mm. So it acts like a glue in the food, and it kind of binds stuff together. It's a protein. But you know, for some people it doesn't affect them at all. So there are people that are doing gluten as a fad, right? Like I'll call it a fad diet. And it's not going to hurt them to not have gluten at all. It's not going to hurt them because they're not missing anything. But if they had it, it probably just wouldn't affect them, you know, unless you actually can't tolerate it.
And
Yeah.
how do they extract gluten from certain things? You know, like you'll see such and such is gluten free and they label it, but
Okay.
there is.
So there's two things I know, okay? I'm not a scientist, but I'm going to tell you the two things I know. The first thing is when I first started doing this, I was a beer drinker. I loved, okay, I'm with you. I loved my beer. Like I was literally pregnant with JJ, and I would tell my sister, as soon as I have him, bring me a pack of Bud Light. I did. I really did.
Oh no, that's great.
But there's two kinds of beer now. There's beer made of sorghum flour, which is gluten-free, and then some other flours, which are gluten-free.
Right.
And then there's beer that was made and from barley or wherever, and then the gluten was extracted. If you have celiac disease, you cannot have the beer where the gluten was extracted because you will get sick. Gluten intolerance and gluten sensitive, it's your mileage varies. Like that's different. Regular food that has had gluten in it, they just make without gluten. So cookies, they'll make it with gluten-free flour, like brown rice flour or pea flour or potato flour. And, you know, I used to eat them. But what happened was they're made with way more sugar than regular cookies to kind of,
To make it more appealing.
to make it more appealing. Okay, so that's what was happening 10 years ago and even 5 years ago. But now there's so many different options. Thanks, honey. There's so many different options because we're more aware, and the chefs and the bakers are, you know, coming up with new recipes, and there's a lot more options now. If you don't want to have gluten at all, then I say just stay away from foods that have gluten in them. So vegetables, fruits, proteins, you know, eggs. I love eggs. They're a staple for me. Smoothies. I like protein shakes, but I like them plant-based. And just potatoes, rice, because you can have starches. You just can't have starches that have gluten, like pasta, whole wheat. Anything whole wheat has gluten in it. Yeah. She's passing out pretzels. I will have you all know that these women wanted me to have donuts.
Not me.
What?
Not me.
She's like, let's bring donuts and pop'ems and cookies. And I said, I'm into nutrition. I'm gonna be like, here guys, have some chocolate chip oatmeal cookies.
That's really funny.
That's why you put them out.